Hey guys, what's up? It's me, the Meteor Raptor, and I'm back! This time... Well, one of my all-time favorite horror movies, at least, has to be Cloverfield. Why? The atmosphere, the characters, the tension, the action, the monster mainly. Cloverfield, for what it was a pretty low-budget found-footage horror movie. And to be honest, I like found-footage horror movies when they don't have to deal with ghosts. Or at least not in the Paranormal Activity sense. You know, stuff like VHS, Grave Encounters. That was an awesome movie. Grave Encounters and Grave Encounters 2. Two of the best I've ever seen. But yeah, but Cloverfield was definitely easily one of my favorites because it was such a unique idea. It was pretty much as if somebody said, hey, what if we take Godzilla and make a found footage movie with it? But we also take a page from the book of Alien, and we don't show the monster till near the end. You know what, you guys? With a concept like that, how could you go wrong? I genuinely thought, yeah, this would be a pretty good movie. And you know what? For what it was a good movie. You know, it wasn't perfect. The camera work really was terrible, but then again, found footage, what do you expect? Yeah. But the way it ended, it kind of ended on a sort of a pseudo-sequel hook. It was like, yeah, if we want to, we can make another one, but we're not like screaming at you that, hey, there's gonna be a Cloverfield 2. You know, they were at least kind enough to kind of say, doors open for a sequel. Don't know if it'll happen. 10 years later, they finally announced a Cloverfield sequel, a direct Cloverfield sequel, called 10 Cloverfield Lane. Boom, I'm excited, I'm there, take my money. I want to see this monster back in action. But you know what we got? We got this. Aliens. You know what, guys? When I watched 10 Cloverfield Lane, I was expecting a lot of things. A psychological thriller with aliens was the last thing I was expecting. The big problem is, that's what we got. So, pretty much the basic story is we have our main character, I don't remember her name because she was really not a memorable character at all, and she's driving, yada yada yada, trying to escape from something, I don't remember, and she gets driven off the road by John Goodman, or Marshall, I think. No, I think that might have been his Hangover 3 character, which was the only good part about that movie. Anyhow, so she wakes up in this bunker built underneath his farm, where there's one other guy, Rufus or something. I don't know if I'm messing up on the character names, they just weren't memorable. So, yeah. So it's the three of them, and for a while, really, things actually don't seem that bad. You know, they do talk a lot about how Korea or Japan or one of those countries, or not one of those countries, a country set off a bunch of chemical warfare, which is why they're trapped down here. My reactions at that point? Wait, this is Cloverfield. Where's the Cloverfield monster? Well, I guess I was too quick to judge the movie, because later on, a woman shows up at the door begging to be let in and they're telling her don't, and something comes by and grabs her. Cloverfield monster, yes! No. Because towards the end, the entire film it pretty much decides it wants to be a totally different movie now. It goes from being a movie about a giant monster which attacks New York City to, boom, psychological thriller. Which isn't a bad thing if it didn't have Cloverfield in the title. Literally, this movie's biggest flaw, aside from the whole aliens thing, is the fact that they did not change the title. Because let me tell you, the stuff with John Goodman's character, and how he supposedly kidnaps girls and stuff like that, and how he's been holding them down there, and how one of them might have been killed actually, as they see a message written in blood saying, help me, on a second door, all that stuff would have made for an awesome movie. I'm not much into psychological thrillers, but since I walked in there, I was interested in that stuff at least. See, the movie's big problem is the fact that since it's a Cloverfield sequel, you spend the entire movie waiting for, what else? The Cloverfield monster. and it never shows up. No, we get aliens. Like I already said, we get aliens. So, yeah, that really pissed me off. But that's not to say that the movie isn't bad on its own. It actually, like I said, it would be an awesome movie if it wasn't a sequel to Cloverfield, which, however it is, so instantly I can't... If you look at it on its own, it's a fine movie. If you look at it like a Cloverfield movie, it's one of the worst things ever made. It's easily the worst sequel ever made. You guys, a lot of things about this movie was surprisingly good. The writing was surprisingly strong for its story. The characters, aside from John Goodman's character, they were pretty forgettable. I didn't find myself caring for any of them. Aside from the girl, it was more of a, I felt bad for her than I'm like, I really hope you survived. Like, man, I feel bad for you right now. Than it wasn't a very deep connection, but there was still at least something. And you know what? That's better than nothing. The third guy, he was kind of there just to be comic relief and then die. Spoiler alert, but who cares? Sorry. And the acting? Well, John Goodman. Everything I've seen him in, he's been amazing. The other actors, there's only 10 actors at the most in this entire movie. They all do pretty good. John Goodman, of course, does the best, but that's John Goodman. He's John Goodman. He's a great actor. Like, I haven't seen a bad John Goodman movie so far. So, and except for The Hangover Part 3, but that wasn't as much his fault as the movie's fault, as in that shouldn't have been made. Look, I'm getting off topic. The special effects in the movie look awesome. The aliens, while I am really mad that they did use aliens, the aliens still look cool. I will give them that. The aliens certainly have a unique look to them. And the CG looks great. The settings and all that, and all the sets, they look old, worn out, rusted if somebody has actually been living in them for a long time, or if they've been down there for a long time. All the food cans, they have little bits of rust on them. They have just little details which make it look like it's been here for a while. And you know what? That was a beautiful touch. Because it was really the filmmakers caring about what they were doing. They wanted to make it look as good as possible. And to an extent, they succeeded. The only problem is the movie, the writing... Really, this is the first movie I ever think I've seen where it was killed by its own title. I'm surprised. But, yeah, lighting's okay, because it's supposed to be underground, you're supposed to feel claustrophobic. Oh, that too. If you're claustrophobic, don't watch this movie. You will, probably have a heart attack. The music, what's the little bits in here, is actually pretty good. I enjoyed it. I don't remember most of it, but I remember thinking, oh, that's okay. So when it comes down to it, can I actually recommend 10 Cloverfield Lane? No. I can't. I'm sorry. Go watch the original Cloverfield. That movie is awesome. I love it. I'm probably going to go watch it again unless I go play Uncharted or something. But the only reason why I can't recommend 10 Cloverfield Lane is because of the title. And because of that idiotic twist at the end. If they had literally called it anything else, it could have been 10 Clover Lane. And they had gone out of their way just to say clearly enough, this is not connected to Cloverfield, it could have been 10 Field Lane. And if they had said instead of a giant, because it wouldn't have that connection to a giant monster. The alien twist, still kind of dumb, but at least it would have seemed kind of cool. Coming out of nowhere, it would have made sense at least. Well, not really, but it would have been cooler. It would have worked better for the moment. It would have worked better for the movie. But, you guys, I hate having to say I can't recommend a movie because I can recommend just about anything. You guys, I can recommend this. I can recommend a movie called Dino Croc vs. Super Gator. Okay, I can recommend a movie called Dino Croc versus Super Gator, which is a sequel, well, a crossover sequel of sorts to both Super Gator and Dino Croc, both of which I recommend. Alright, do you get my point? There are so many bad movies out there, even if they're meant to be bad or if they're just bad, that I can still recommend, but even as a bad movie, I can't recommend 10 Cloverfield Lane. Like, the only real reason you should watch it is either for John Goodman, because he does an amazing job being incredibly creepy. And also because, well, if you love the first Cloverfield, you may see something I didn't, but I loved the first Cloverfield. Most people hated it. But I could not watch this movie. I didn't walk out because I paid for the ticket and I hate walking out of movies, but dang, I was tempted to. You guys, I'm gonna go play Uncharted for a bit. Uncharted 2 to be exact. So guys, until next time, this is the Meteoraptor saying keep cool, and I will see you guys around. Later. We're on the road to 100.